Now, I had to cover this one because games like this come around about once in every 13.7 years. The world number one, Magpie Crane Swan, opens with the Queen's Pawn. Nice and steady and normal. Nothing's going on here, but it really is. Watch what happens. It's 3-0 Thursday, played at the end of March. His opponent is a 16-year-old FIDE master from, yes, Norway, following in Magnus's footsteps. His name is Havard Haug. Look at that rating already, 3100 blitz rating, chess.com. This is really a great battle. Let's see what happened. Magnus starts with a Jabava London. Now, I'm short on memes and pictures, so we'll run with this one and try and stick Jabava in front. He loves his blackboard. This is all pretty standard stuff, so we're going to whiz through here. We don't want anything jump into this square, so that's why the pawn push. Let's see how things go. Black decides it's time to give up the legendary bishop bear. Normally, the grandmasters want to hold on to them. Why is black doing this? Well, let's play a couple more moves. We get some 0-0-0 from Magnus, and it's not Christmas. And we see now, with this pawn structure, why giving up that light squared black bishop wasn't such a biggie in such a structure. And also, it increased the control of e5 once you got rid of that knight. And then it also starts to talk to this next move. Let's exchange the dark squared bishops, plus get rid of one of the bishops. Logical play. Of course, here comes Gary the debt collector. Magnus is trying to bang the door down. Takes was played with check. Queen recaptures. Knight sidelining itself. It's normally very stinky. Do not try it at home. They can get cut out over there. The queen drops back, and she has to keep in tabs with this pawn. Hence, why not queen f3? Now we see pawn g6 to regurgitate the knight. Regurgitate's maybe the wrong word, kind of conjuring up images of like end of a night out or something. Saturday night, you had the wrong thing to eat. Recycle, perhaps a better way to say it. And always play king b1. Here comes the knight. So the bishop keeps an eye on the square. This is not a structure you want. So instead we get queen d6. We can see what's on the way. h4 from Magnus, and there goes the king. Both kings on that side of the board. Opening phase firmly done. We've got to find a middle game plan. By the way, I'm constantly banging on. Oh, let me silence my phone. Sorry. About Lotus Chess and the openings and all that good stuff. But honestly, they have answered my prayers. They are now doing endgames. Insanely exciting stuff. It genuinely is so good. I've been using it all day. Finally, someone actually has just listed the endgame stuff you need to know. The link is in the description. Cannot describe how good it is now that it does both openings and endgames. We are all going to be playing like Magnus Carlsen before the clocks go forward. If you're in the UK or it's already happened in the US, you get my drift. It's honestly incredible. Check it out. The link is below. I've been using it all day, learning my rook end games. Let's crack on with the game here. Magnus goes for this plan. He wants to dominate these dark squares that were weakened. The rook centralizes. Rook he1. Now king b8. All logical stuff. Magnus spawns the seahorse. And the most classic, principled black plan is played in this position. But it turns out it's actually a blunder of a move. The move played is pawn e5. Now, what could be more natural? Because after Magnus takes, rook recaptures, it looks like white is in a world of pain. The queen's attacked, and it has to stay with the knight because the knight is attacked. You can't go to d4. The knight covers the square. So where do you go? f4? That does actually hold on to things. The queen can't yet take, or rook takes, and white's doing fine. More than fine, as you can see. You're winning another piece. Just one sample line there. So it's not actually about the fact that you're going to lose stuff if you go here, and then there's here, and then there's here, and the line carries on. Looks like everything's fine. The actual problem, running to this position here, is that Magnus has this incredible tactical shot Thunderbolt from nowhere. Can you guess what he played here? A brilliancy. It's knight takes on a6 with check. We're about to see the point. And this is why actually black shouldn't have pushed e5 and allowed this stuff. Should have instead played a move like king a8, but far from obvious. If you take the knight, not played, this is the follow-up point. And it doesn't matter where the king goes, the theme is the same. Let's say you go to c8, you can take this rook, and no matter how black recaptures, you've got a problem. There's a loose queen, and if queen takes, there's a loose knight. So you've won back your piece, and then some. More material to collapse, and the king's being hunted, the knight's dreadful, it's of course game over. So we don't know Magnus as a tactical player, generally speaking, but boy can he turn it on when he needs to. He's no slouch in the tactics department, so the king just sidesteps, and Magnus is just having some fun. Goes for the exchange of the ladies, of course, what else? This is Magnus, never oblige him on it. Why would you do that to yourself? Someone's about to get rook rolled. Magnus takes, rook recaptures, and this knight is having some real fun now. Rook dropping back, knight f6, double whammies those two pawns. Black goes for the counterplay. Magnus takes off the central one. If you take here, well, don't sleep on this knight fork, going for the rook. So we see king b8 covering the square, knight f6 now. I mean, different ways to skin a cat. Or find a more politically correct way to say that, but you get the gist. This is the one Magnus goes for. Black could have taken on d3 technically, but wants to keep knights on. Understandable. Knights are tricky. Magnus takes, knight takes, pawn a3 gives some luft, and after these next couple of moves it looks like Magnus is just cruising to victory, but something absolutely shocking happens in this position. Magnus just sleeps on some tactics. What should he be doing here? Maybe get the king out of dodge, maybe centralise the bishop, could bring the knight back, but it's fine where it is for now. It is protecting a pawn, but Magnus doesn't do any of it. He checks. If the king came here, he'd have probably played the next same move. King went here, and now he played the atrocious blunder. Rook f8. Look at that. Stock squid poops its pants. Can't get the words out. Absolutely awful move. It's allowed a tactic. Can you see the move? Of course, it's knight d2 check. And Magnus is just not in time to get out the forking way. He loses a bishop. And although he was completely winning, he's now losing. A minor piece down. But watch this. This is Magnus Carlsen. This is the most insane wizardry that he can do. He starts attacking stuff, basically. Just keep attacking the opponent's pieces. Garry Kasparov famously said it. I think it was Kasparov. Just keep attacking stuff, maybe 9 times in a row or something, and eventually they'll blunder. Attack something, put some pressure on, pressure something. Don't sleep on this threat. I need to stop saying don't sleep on everything. I think I need some sleep. This is a fork threat. The pork is pinned. The pawn is pinned. Now we see the king step back. I've not been well lately. I think I've been lacking sleep. But I am on the mend now. Candidate starts soon. Rook e2 hits the knight. It jumps to d6. Magnus keeps pressuring. Pawn pushes therefore. Rook b4 just pressuring more stuff. Of course, stopping the advance of the pawns as well. Now knight c5. And hang on, what was that? You've just dropped a piece. Well, either it was intentionally brilliant or unintentional and black got lucky. Either way, this actually wins back the piece. Because yes, you can drop the knight and defend the rook, but then you can pressure the knight, which defends the rook. And b3 is no good. You'll smash it off, of course, then win the rook. So this was played. Magnus at least picks up a pawn. It's now 2 pawns versus 3 pawns, and black has a knight. So what's the game plan here? Well, of course, it's try and mop up the pawns. You know, win the f pawn somehow, and then swap one of these for these, and you're in an endgame, which is a theoretical draw. Although it can be lost, as we saw in the Kasparov Judith Polgar documentary just come out on Netflix. Well, Judith Polgar documentary, brilliant endgame play there. Check that one out if you haven't done so. I won't spoil it or anything. Magnus offers the exchange of prisoners. Black doesn't do it. Correctly assesses that the f-pawn should be kept. It's way more dangerous kept alive. Magnus pushes. I forgot to prepare a b4 expression. So here's a funny clip.
Okay, so right here, I had to make the choice to sack the pawn because no matter what, it was just going to go bad really quick.
b5's played in exchange. Now we see king e4 here, and rook a2 is actually a big mistake. Better was to step in with king d6. And then, let's just show that. If white wins the pawn, well, you're in time to march with the king, then spin the knight around soon from somewhere, start winning pawns, or come via b6, keep an eye on everything. It's a lost endgame. But the king didn't step in. We saw the rook swing. We saw the exchange of the pawns. Magnus is suddenly a step closer. He just needs to win or exchange one more pawn. Can he get the job done here? Well, black's not going to make it easy. Black is still winning. Still winning. Don't change the rooks, of course. Magnus pressures once more. If you keep doing this, it's just a repetition. So what is played? An absolute blunder. What could have been played different? Well, many moves, but let's see the game. Knight b6. It's a huge mistake because you can check, kick back the king, and it can't step to b6, of course, and stay with the pawn. So Magnus wins it. Out of nowhere, he's conjured up this drawn position now. It's just unbelievable how he holds on to these things. Let's see how things went, because the pawn was now attacked, and Magnus Carlsen played one of the most shocking moves he's played in a long time. King e4. Now, okay, we all blunder, right? But when it's Magnus, you just don't expect it. And you don't expect it twice in one game. And you don't expect it 40 seconds up on the clock. He's just got this incredible spidey sense of where not to put the pieces. But it lets him down here. Black spots it. Bang! What a moment for the Norwegian youngster. Taking down Magnus Carlsen. It's got to be the pinnacle of any chess player's career in this day and age. Whatever the time control, right? Let's see how things went. Magnus here resigned the game. Really incredible. Do check out Lotus Chess. The endgame feature is honestly insane. I absolutely love it. And have a look at the video on the screen if you want some more epic chess. Cheers.